I'm the Assistant County Administrator for Public Safety for Pasco County. I'm joined today by Deputy Chief Andy Fossa. That's Andyfossa. This is more so a question and answer for you guys, but we do have just four small brief points here. Last night, not last night, the night before last, which is going to be Friday, Thursday night going into Friday morning, we had about another 20 to 30 feet of loss in the banks of the sinkhole. There's a couple of theories out there. Is it still an active sinkhole? Yes or no? We can't determine that right now. That's up to geologists to figure that out. I believe more so is destabilization again as equipment was moving around in that particular sinkhole. However, again, we're waiting on some USF geologists to give us a little bit better determination on that. So that brings the current sinkhole measurement at its widest point to about 260 feet. I'm measuring that utilizing a basic app that we have at our Pasco View at our Pasco County website that gives me a measuring tool to do that. So it's very rough, but nevertheless about 260 feet at its widest point. Most of the sinkhole, if you go around it, is about 180 feet, but at the widest point it's about 260. We still do not have a verified depth, so we're still going with what we've been saying all along, is 50 feet. Yesterday I did have folks from the building inspections office, and they're back out here again this morning, and they have condemned two additional houses. 21814 Ocean Pines Drive and 21815 Ocean Pines Drive have both received notice of condemnations. The reason we did that is we do visibly see signs of shifting foundation, cracks in their exterior walls, and at 21814, in addition to those two things, they have a number of interior cracks, tile buckling, granite actually breaking in half, and that takes a lot of pressure to do that. So we've put both of those houses in for condemnation. The contractor hired to clean up the debris is, as you all know, is Series Environmental. They had to stop their operation on Friday so that because of the walls starting to cave in. So what we did was stop that operation. We anticipated that, and I want everybody to understand we did anticipate that we were going to have potential more problems. We saw some bubbling from the middle of the sinkhole yesterday as well, which again, we anticipated that may be an issue, that we'd have some of that bubbling coming up. That indicates that there's potentially, in other words, a plug, and we've talked about that all along, that we believe the debris probably has gone down there and plugged a hole. So again, nothing outside of what we anticipated. It does have us change our tactic, and when I say our tactic, I really mean Series Environmental's tactic. So what they're going to do today is as you may get down there and see them dumping crushed lime rock, that's for the recovery process. What they were going to do is put that lime rock in there, try to build a ramp into the hole itself, and they're going to work from a barge application. So they're going to bring a very small barge in. I was told the technical term is a walking platform work barge. So they will work from that and start then to remove the debris. That really brings us up to speed on everything, I believe, at this point in time. So Andy and I are here to answer. We will, and the reason Chief Foss is here, I'll mention that. We are going to have a special ops crew standing by during all of these operations today, just because of the unstable situation we are dealing with. We don't want anybody to get hurt. So we will have Pasco County Special Ops on scene all day today. So with that, this is more so for you guys. Any questions that you've had, especially over the last 3-4 days, that you may want some clarification on, I will go ahead and set an expectation here. When it comes to the building process and all that, the condemnation side of the house, I've got some basic information on that, but I don't have a lot of details. We may have to defer you to the building official on Monday morning.
The 20 to 30 foot loss, is that in addition to the 10 foot wide, 80 foot long edge that collapsed the other day, or is that part of that?
That's part of that. That is part of that. So again, to your point, there was a very long section that dropped out, but it was no more than 10 feet deep. So that 10 in addition to another 10 on the other side opposite that area is what we're going ahead and calling the extra 20 to estimated 30 feet for the new measurement of 260.
Does the condemnation of 2 additional homes and slight increase of the hole, does that change what your plans are going forward in terms of how you're going to move forward? Or
no, the plan is still the same. You know, we're following the same 3 objectives, which are 4 objectives, which are number 1, to remove the debris from the sinkhole, number 2, to decontaminate the water, number 3, stabilize as much as we need to accomplish task 1 and 2, and then 4th is an option that we have available to us if we determine we want to bring the road back up to grade so that it can be asphalted in. I will tell you that those objectives have not changed, and we're going to continue going down that path. We've got to get the debris out of there. We've got to get the water decontaminated, and then again, as a reminder, we're going to hit the pause button and then take that back to the Board of County Commission, let the commissioners decide what they want to do as the following steps.
As the crews and equipment get brought in here, is there concern for even more loss now or any other homes at risk?
So again, as I mentioned at the very start of this, there's 2 or 3 theories out there about what caused the destabilization or the collapse yesterday. There is a thought process that the heavy equipment coming in and out of there caused some seismic vibration, which caused stuff to fall in. You know, Intertech PSI came out 2 weeks ago and started their investigation and did the core samplings. All of that indicated that we should not be within 20 to 30 feet of the sinkhole itself. Where are we seeing this at? Within 20 to 30 feet of the sinkhole. So again, the one working theory is, yes, that the heavy vibration of that equipment caused some of that to fall in. Do we think we have an active sinkhole? I'm going to say right now the answer to that question is no, based on what we have out there. We have seen some percolating from the center, but again, that's when we were trying to pull some debris out yesterday. So we stopped. This is going to be a very long, methodical process. The one thing we do not want to do is get anybody else hurt. I shouldn't say that. We don't want anybody to get hurt, and we do not want to have to evacuate any more homes. Both of those are obviously possibilities that if we do not do things right, we may get somebody injured. We may have to start evacuating more people. We want to keep it simple. We want to keep it slow. You know, in my law enforcement career, we call things slow and deliberate, and we're going to do things slow and deliberate throughout this operation.
So if it's not an active sinkhole in the sense that it's going straight down, the vibrations just kind of helping to cause it to slope like
Right.
it usually would,
Right.
we're talking about?
Right, so what we're doing today is we are really focusing on trying to create that ramp and slope to help stabilize that edge so that we can get that barge down in there and then work from the center instead of the edges. So the thought process at this point in time is going to be try to get the debris up onto the platform, move the platform over to the side, take it from the platform, go back out, and it's going to be a very slow process, but that's the tactic that they're trying to that they feel is going to be most successful is getting the debris from where it's at instead of trying to drag it and pull it to the side and so on, which was the original first tactic.
With these 2 additional homes, can you just remind everyone again of just how many homes have been affected now by this?
So again, we still have the same footprint of 11 homes that we had, which 2 of those homes were the original 2 destroyed. We evacuated 9 on the first day of the sinkhole. We ended up 2 days later letting 5 of those homeowners go back in. So again, it's down to the houses that we have condemned are the ones that are actually on the inside of the fence. There's an additional house, 21845 Ocean Pines Drive, that we are taking a hard look at. We're keeping a very close eye on it. There are some holes opening up in the yard, and we believe that most likely I'll be going back to the county administrator and the building official to ask for that one to be condemned as well. But as of today, there's no structural integrity there, just some holes that have opened up in the yard.
You said this is going to be a long process. What are you telling the residents and reminding them throughout all of this?
Well, one of the things that we're doing is I'm talking to them personally. I talked to both homeowners last night when we talked about condemning their house today, and you know that it's heartbreaking for me to have to do that, to go up to a person that's invested their entire life and their savings and their checking into a home and say that home is going to end up not being there anymore. And but both of the residents when I had that conversation with them, they both told me that they actually felt relieved because it's now they have some type of closure to it and they can move on to the next point.
You want to talk about the construction for the residents of Lake Paget? What they
Yeah. Thank you, Doug. And I'm sorry, Doug. I've been out of town for a week, so please forgive me. The question was about the construction for the homeowners in the area. So, as I would tell all the folks on Lake Paget, especially on Lake Paget Drive out to Bell Lake, out to 41, that's pretty much our route for the dump trucks that are going to be coming in here. So far this morning, we've had about a dozen dump trucks come in and dump crushed lime rock to start that process. So, again, be aware that we're going to have heavy equipment moving out here up and down Lake Paget Boulevard. We've asked the operators to be cognizant. They are in the neighborhood. They've been very good this morning about coming in slowly and doing the right thing. So just be aware it's going to be out there. Children and whatnot that might be playing in the yard. Just keep an extra eye on them and make sure you look both ways twice before you may encounter something you're not used to encountering, such as a bobcat or an excavator or whatnot. So please keep those things in mind. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
As far as timeline for the cleanup, do you guys have any weeks or
Yeah. So the question is, can I go over the timeline for the cleanup? Again, we were originally thinking somewhere around 2 to 3 weeks. I believe the contract actually stipulates 30-something days, but we're not going to rush anything. Again, I go back to my previous bullet point, that is, during this recovery process, we're going to be slow, deliberate, methodical in our approach as to not get anyone injured. If we have to slow down, we slow down. The speed is not of the essence here. And I've talked to all of the residents back there. I believe I talked to just about everybody on Ocean Pines Drive personally, and they are understanding. They know what's going on, and they want us to take our time. They don't want us to rush through this. They want it done right the first time, and that's what we're going to do.
You guys, I know that there was talk about doing well testing for contamination. Has that been completed?
Yeah, so I'm going to have to let Doug do a follow-up on that because as I just said, I've been out of town for a week. So I'm going to ask Doug to do that as a follow-up email to you guys and give you just let us know where that's at, because I actually don't have the proper situational awareness right now to know that. I ended up leaving yesterday morning, getting back a day early. So
we're still waiting for DOH.
Okay, and Doug just told me offline that we are still waiting on Department of Health to get us back those results.
Are there any voluntary evacuations or anything? You were talking about the one home that you're diligently keeping an eye on.
Right. So I know of one homeowner that is still in a voluntary evacuation mode. I know the family they are in rather close proximity to the sinkhole. Actually, Kelly, I'm sorry about that. Let's make that 2 homeowners that I know of. They they don't feel comfortable coming back, and I can completely understand their concerns. So we still have 2 families that are voluntarily evacuated. Anything else?
What's going to happen today?
So again, Doug asked me to recap what's going to happen today. So again, it's all about stabilization today, trying to get that ramp built in there, or some type of ramp to where we can actually move into that sinkhole with a small platform barge. And I think they have, I think the last count was 27 dump trucks of crushed lime that they've ordered up so far. So it's, again, we'll dump the crushed lime in there, try to build the ramp to where we can get the barge in there. If we are successful at that today, then we will most likely see a debris removal operation starting tomorrow morning.
And then next press availability, unless something
Right.
major breaks.
Thank you, Doug. So the next press availability is going to be as needed. I can't tell you it's going to be tomorrow, Monday. I will be out here most of the day today, most of the day tomorrow. I'm trying to get some of my staff that's been going nonstop for the last 20-something days, a couple of days off, come back Monday. They will be out here, but there will be an emergency management staff member or a fire rescue staff member here Monday through Friday, pretty much 7 in the morning to 5, 6, 7 at night for the duration. If you have any questions, I'd still ask you to push those to Doug. Doug will send those emails out, and if necessary, I'll provide somebody or myself to go on camera. Yep, and we'll do a media alert and give you at least 2 hours notice that we're going to have a presser or some type of media availability. if you need that. All right. The last thing, and this is logistics, so you guys, if you want to stop recording, you can. But we are going to allow you guys to have one vehicle in here. There is a small place. If you go down Ocean Pines, you'll see a roped off section with barricade tape. There is a driveway that's accessible there. We're going to limit